Okay, so let's talk about hyperbolas next then. It's similar to an ellipse. The difference is the ellipse is the sum of the distance between the foci and a point in the ellipse is constant, where in hyperbola the difference of the distances between the foci and a point is constant. So let's take a look at that. If you subtract these distances then, so any point on the hyperbola, if you subtract the distance from both foci, you're going to get the same number each time for all these points. Okay? So here is an example of hyperbola. This distance right here is going to be A. The distance from the center to a foci is going to be C. This is called the transverse axis here. And obviously, you know, the center is the point that's directly between the two vertices. All right. Here's some more information about hyperbolas, which I put in your formula sheet. Equations that you guys are going to use. Only I'm giving you the equations from 4-4 already because we don't need to have them centered at the origin. So let's try an example then. Let's find the standard form of equation of hyperbola with these two foci and vertices at -2, 0, and 2, 0. Let's go ahead and give that a try. So here's the information I have for hyperbolas. I want my focal axis or transverse axis in this case is horizontal, so I want to make sure I'm in this column where I have horizontal focal axis. So I'm using this equation right here. So let me copy that over. All right, so let's fill out what we know. We know it's centered at the origin, so we know it's x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 1. I know that my h and k is 0, 0, because it's centered at the origin. All right. So A is the distance from the center to the vertice right here. So this is called the transverse axis or the focal axis. And so this would be the full transverse axis. Half of that then, the semi-transverse axis would be right here. That distance is A. So A is 2. In order to find B, we're going to have to use the foci, because we don't have any information that will give us B from the graph. When you look at this graph, I don't have the semi-conjugate axis. I don't have that here. So what I'm going to need to do is use the foci information that's on the formula sheet, which is right here. The foci are located at h plus or minus c comma k, which in this case h is 0, so it's plus or minus c comma 0. And in this case it's -3, 0, and 3, 0, so my c is 3. If I have a and c, I can use the Pythagorean relation again. In this case, the Pythagorean relation is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So I'll use that. C is 3, A is 2. Now will allow me to find B. It's 9 minus 4, which is 5, square rooted, so B is the square root of 5 again. If B is the square root of 5, then when I plug this in, this becomes 5 right here. And I know this becomes 4 because A is 2. So this is my equation of hyperbola. Once again, you can check it on your calculator. If you use the Conics app and you plug in the information that you now know A is 2 and B is the square root of 5. Plug that information in and it will graph the hyperbola. It should look like this one. All right. The other thing I guess I'll share with you about hyperbolas that's not on the, well, it actually is in the formula sheet. But the conjugate axis, which is here, if you have 0b, b is the distance from the center to the top of the conjugate axis here. And what you can do is make a rectangle then from the vertices through b, like this, plus or minus b. And if you, through the corners of those rectangles, if you draw lines, those are the equations for the asymptotes for the hyperbola. So each hyperbola has two asymptotes, and they go through the corners of the rectangle that has length 2a and width 2b. Okay, same thing over here. This happens obviously when hyperbolas open up or down. Same thing. Okay, so the asymptote, we can get equations for those. The equation for the asymptote is y equals negative b over a x, and y equals b over ax. They have one goes positive, one goes negative. Same thing over here. All right, so those are also given to you. Okay, I hope this helps. We're obviously going to need to do some practice problems and make a homework help video.